Life often feels like an endless chase for something just out of reach: happiness, success, love, fulfillment. We are constantly striving for these external markers, believing that they hold the key to our ultimate satisfaction. The truth, however, is that happiness is not something we can achieve solely through external achievements. It is a state of being that emerges from within us. This realization is both empowering and liberating. It means that happiness doesn't have to be a distant dream. It can be a daily practice, woven into the fabric of our lives. The journey toward happiness begins with the understanding that it is not something we find, but something we create. This shift in mindset is the first step toward unlocking a life filled with more joy and peace. The pursuit of happiness often leaves us chasing after goals that society tells us are essential: a higher income, a perfect relationship, a prestigious title. We pour our energy into these pursuits only to find that achieving them does not guarantee the happiness we expected. In fact, many people report feeling emptier after reaching these milestones than they did before. This is because true happiness is not derived from external circumstances, but from an internal sense of peace and contentment. We must learn to detach our sense of worth from achievements and possessions and instead focus on cultivating a deeper connection with ourselves. This does not mean we stop pursuing goals or striving for improvement, but we must reframe how we measure our happiness. When we begin to find joy in the present moment, rather than in the future or in material things, we unlock the secret to a happier life. One of the most powerful tools in our quest for happiness is the practice of gratitude. In our fast-pacing, goal-oriented world, it is easy to focus on what we don't have, what we haven't achieved, or what's going wrong in our lives. But when we shift our focus to what we do have, our health, our relationships, the beauty of nature, the simple pleasures that surround us, we begin to see our lives in a new light. Gratitude shifts our perspective from scarcity to abundance, from lack to plenty. It allows us to see that happiness is not something we need to wait for or earn. It's already here, in the small moments that make up our lives. Practicing gratitude not only enhances our emotional well-being, but also strengthens our resilience, helping us navigate life's challenges with greater ease. When we cultivate a habit of gratitude, we begin to experience a profound sense of contentment, which serves as the foundation for lasting happiness. It's important to understand that happiness is not a permanent state. It is a fluid experience, one that ebbs and flows with the circumstances of life. While we cannot control everything that happens to us, we can control how we respond. Our mindset plays a significant role in how we experience life's ups and downs. When we adopt a growth mindset, we start to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. Every setback becomes a lesson, every failure a stepping stone toward improvement. This shift in perspective allows us to approach life with more patience, resilience, and optimism. Rather than letting our emotions dictate our happiness, we can learn to choose how we react to situations, cultivating an inner sense of peace that remains steady even in times of uncertainty. This mindset is one of the greatest secrets to living a happier, more fulfilling life. Another key aspect of happiness is self-compassion. Too often we are our own harshest critics, beating ourselves up for perceived shortcomings, mistakes, or failures. But this pattern of self-judgment only keeps us stuck in a cycle of negativity. We must learn to treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we offer to others. Self-compassion is not about excusing our mistakes or letting ourselves off the hook. It's about acknowledging our imperfections with love and acceptance. When we practice self-compassion, we release the heavy burden of shame and guilt, and we create space for healing, growth, and happiness. This shift in how we relate to ourselves allows us to embrace our humanity and move forward with greater confidence and peace. Self-compassion is one of the most important elements of lasting happiness, as it helps us build a foundation of self-worth that is not dependent on external validation. True happiness is rooted in our ability to be present, So often, we spend our lives looking ahead, planning for the future, or dwelling on the past. But in doing so, we miss out on the richness of the present moment. Happiness cannot be found in some distant tomorrow or in the memories of yesterday. It exists right here, in the now. When we cultivate mindfulness and learn to fully engage with the present moment, we unlock a deep sense of joy and peace. Being present allows us to savor the simple things in life: a warm breeze, a delicious meal, a good conversation. It helps us connect with others on a deeper level and experience life more fully. When we let go of the constant need to control or predict, we open ourselves up to the beauty of life as it unfolds. Happiness, in its purest form, is found in the present moment. happiness.square.com/Indemmer, and as someone said, the more you practice, the stronger you become. As we continue on our journey toward happiness, we must also recognize the importance of letting go. Many of us carry emotional baggage from past experiences, regrets, grudges, unhealed wounds. Holding on to these painful memories only keeps us stuck in the past, preventing us from fully embracing the present and moving forward. Letting go is not about forgetting or dismissing our experiences. It's about releasing the emotional grip they have on us. It's about choosing to no longer let our past define our future. When we let go of old hurts and resentments, we make space for new opportunities, new connections, and new happiness. This doesn't happen overnight, but with practice, we can learn to free ourselves from the past and open up to the possibilities of the future. One of the greatest lessons in the pursuit of happiness is the importance of balance. In our quest to achieve success, we often neglect other aspects of our lives, our health, relationships, and personal well-being. True happiness comes not from focusing on one area of life to the exclusion of others, but from creating harmony between all of our responsibilities and desires. When we prioritize self-care, nurture our relationships, and engage in meaningful work, we create a well-rounded, fulfilling life. Balance doesn't mean perfection. It means finding a rhythm that allows us to enjoy each aspect of our lives without feeling overwhelmed or burned out. When we achieve this balance, happiness becomes a natural byproduct, flowing seamlessly from the choices we make each day. Easy to believe that happiness is something that comes from external sources: a new car, a bigger house, a better job. But these things are fleeting. They offer temporary satisfaction, but they don't provide lasting fulfillment. True happiness is not dependent on what we have, but on who we are and how we experience life. It is not a destination to be reached, but a state of being that we can cultivate through our thoughts, actions, and choices. Happiness comes from within, and when we align ourselves with our values, passions, and purpose, we create a life that is both meaningful and fulfilling. By focusing on what truly matters, we can find joy in even the simplest moments, knowing that happiness is not something we seek, but something we create. The idea that happiness can be found in external circumstances often leads to a never-ending pursuit of more. We are trained to believe that happiness is tied to possessions, achievements, or approval from others. But the reality is that when we place our happiness in these external sources, we become constantly dependent on them. Happiness, when it is linked to external factors, is fragile. It can be taken away in an instant, and when that happens, we are left feeling empty. True happiness, however, is resilient. It is not based on anything that can be taken away. It comes from within. It is a state of mind and heart that we can cultivate no matter what is happening around us. When we understand that happiness is not something to chase, but something to nurture from the inside, we free ourselves from the endless cycle of seeking and never finding. As a soul wife, the importance of kindness cannot be overstated when it comes to happiness. Acts of kindness, both toward others and ourselves, have been shown to boost our mood, improve our relationships, and even enhance our physical health. When we perform kind acts, we create a ripple effect that spreads joy, not only in the lives of others, but also in our own. Helping others, whether through small gestures or more significant acts of service fosters a sense of connection and fulfillment. But kindness is not just about what we do for others, it's also about how we treat ourselves. Practicing self-kindness allows us to release guilt and shame, giving us the freedom to experience happiness without feeling undeserving. The more we practice kindness, the more it becomes ingrained in our daily lives, creating a culture of positivity and love. Happiness is also closely tied to our ability to embrace uncertainty. Life is unpredictable, and we often find ourselves in situations where we don't know what the future holds. This uncertainty can be unsettling, but it also offers us an opportunity to grow and adapt. When we learn to embrace uncertainty, we let go of the need to control every aspect of our lives, and in doing so, we create space for new possibilities. Instead of fearing the unknown, we can choose to approach it with curiosity and openness. This shift in perspective allows us to experience life as an adventure, full of potential rather than a series of problems to be solved. Embracing uncertainty is a powerful practice that helps us stay grounded and open to the flow of life without being tethered to rigid expectations. True happiness is not something we can chase or attain through external means. It is something we create, moment by moment, through our thoughts, actions, and choices. It is a state of being that comes from within. The secret to a happier life is not found in the pursuit of more money, more success, more approval, but in the practice of being present, being grateful, being kind, and being true to ourselves. When we make these practices a part of our daily lives, we begin to experience happiness not as something we have to wait for, but as something we can experience right now. Happiness is not a destination. It is a journey, one that we embark on every single day through the choices we make and the way we live our lives.